Do you know what your financial independence number is? I'm talking about the number you need in order to retire comfortably. Well, in today's show, we are going to be learning the keys to creating, keeping, and transferring wealth.
I think we got to define what net worth is, right?
Break it down.
You see a lot of people in our community, middle class, poor class, talking about credit scores. There's nothing wrong with having a high credit score, but it has nothing to do with your net, right? So somebody could have a high credit score, they could have certain things in place, but they could still have a negative net worth.
You can have an 850 credit score.
Right.
Don't have $850 in the bank.
Now, before we hop into today's show, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's jump into the video.
Hey fam, so I want to ask you this question and start it from the very beginning. 3.5 million black people today, and we're watching this right now, have a negative net worth. And there are some studies out there saying that by 2053 to 2055, they're estimating the average black person will have zero to negative net worth. As financial advisors who've been in this game for decades, y'all have helped people get out of negative net worth to positive net worth to now becoming millionaires, right? And you all are on a mission with the keys to black wealth to help more black people. Seeing that stat, hearing that stat, why are we there today?
Mindset.
Seriously.
Mindset and lack of education, lack of financial education. Mindset is key. You know, we work with people, we meet with people every single day, and sometimes even we have to convince people that this is something that we need to tackle. Convincing people that you need life insurance, convincing people that you need to invest your money. That's the first step, is just getting them to be aware. You know, that's the first key to building wealth, is awareness.
Right, and I think we got to define what net worth is, right?
Break it down.
You see a lot of people in our community, middle class, poor class, talking about credit scores. There's nothing wrong with having a high credit score, but it has nothing to do with your net worth.
Come on, man.
Period.
Net worth is assets minus liabilities, right? So we need to define what net worth is and need to know what are assets and what are liabilities, right? So somebody could have a high credit score, they could have certain things in place, but they could still have a negative net worth.
You can have an 850 credit score.
Right.
Don't have $850 in the bank.
Well, I be saying that. They be like, oh man, like wait, but I need the credit score. And I'm like, no, you need a positive net worth.
That part.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I can say this now, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I got an 800 credit score.
Yeah.
I got a mortgage.
Yeah, shake those keys.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that don't really bother me though.
Yeah.
Because y'all know me, I don't do that. But I'm just saying, it's like, if I ever want to go out there and get more real estate, my credit score is cool.
Yeah.
But here's what I've learned though. Everyone always asks me, every time I go into the bank, what's your net worth? What assets
Exactly.
do you have? And what liabilities do you have? And then when they see, like, wow, he doesn't have any debt, but he got, 2 or 3 homes, wow.
Exactly.
Because you can leverage. You can
That's
leverage
it.
that. Exactly.
So I'm like, man, so name some, because I really want to make sure that we're dropping facts, that we're dropping some information on today's show, you guys. And y'all, I got my book out. Y'all, I'm taking notes, I'm a money guy and I'm taking notes. So if you're not taking notes, then you don't want to be wealthy. But let's name, what are some positive assets that people should be accumulating when it comes to a net worth?
Yeah, so I'll start. 95% of people work at jobs right now, right?
Right.
So I know we hear all about this entrepreneurship going on, but 95% of people work at jobs, right? Are you even signing up for your 401k plan, your employer-sponsored plans, right? I mean, that's step one that people kind of skip over a lot of times, right? If your job is offering you an employer-sponsored plan, that's part of the benefit package, right?
Right.
We talk to so many people who don't even participate in that benefit package, right? So that can give you a positive net worth just by signing up for that benefit package and starting to contribute monthly.
All right, cool. So start off with your 401k. That's an asset.
Yeah.
It's an asset.
Okay. What is a good example, Brandy, of a liability?
Yeah, so I would say a liability is debt, you know, overspending, getting deep into that credit card debt. You know, right now, a lot of influencers are pushing debt. It's a debt society. But at the end of the day, when you look at your net worth, we already talked about it, it's assets minus liabilities. And that liability, that debt is a liability. Even home ownership, great way to build wealth. But in the beginning, that's a debt. That's a debt. You don't own the home, right? And we really got to be really aware about home ownership and how we actually leverage that.
Boy, I love these two, boy. They at the table dropping that facts, and it's not me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I tell people. People say, man, well, I have good debt. And I'm like, what's bad debt? What's good? I'm like, to me, my philosophy is this. Debt is debt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I am consumer debt free. But I still have debt in a form of mortgages.
For sure, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a good debt or it's a bad debt. Right. It is an asset that is growing income. Yeah. But until I pay it off, it is still debt.
It's a debt. And it's not a part of your net worth. Your home that you live in, your residential home, is not a part of your net worth.
Say that again, Brandy.
It is not a part of your net worth. So if you think it's not liquid net worth,
Say that one more time. I don't think people understand that.
So when you think about net worth, you think about liquid net worth. And that liquid is what you can actually get your hands on, cash flow immediately. So when you think about a home, you can't just use that home and go purchase something. It has to be liquidated.
Yeah. Now, stay right there. Because this is what I hear people say. Well, I have equity in a home. Right. So is that towards their positive net worth?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think people need to understand the difference between capital gains and cash flow.
Ooh, the bitches. We getting started.
All right, capital gains is me buying something, wanting the value to go up on it, and eventually I can now leverage it like your equity in your home, right? But it's not cash flowing you right now.
Right.
Investment properties can, right? Yeah. But, you know, if money's coming out of my pocket for it, that's not cash flow. So it might be capital gains. So I think a lot of times people just aren't really explaining the difference between capital gains and cash flow.
All right, cool. So I have an investment property. Right? And so I am paying a mortgage on that investment property. I got the investment property not for the cash flow monthly. I wanted it for the equity gain.
Okay.
Right? So that will be capital gains.
Right.
Cash flow is I'm not making any payments and it's paying me 100%.
Or maybe your payment's only $800, but you're getting $1,400 from it, right? So that's a positive cash flow.
Yeah.
So on my investment property, I am getting a positive, cash flow, but I didn't buy it for that. Because, I mean, if I'm paying $800 and I'm only getting $1,400.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It ain't the end of the world.
That's much money for you, Anthony.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm parking that money for the house. Like, if something goes wrong with it, it's like, boom. But it's like me, I'm like, all right, cool. Let me let someone else pay it off.
Yeah.
And then that's equity I can pass down to my kids.
Exactly. That's capital gains.
That's capital gains.
Yeah.
I want the equity to build.
Yep.
Right? And so now your capital gains and cash flow, that goes towards your net worth.
Correct.
But
is it your liquid net worth, like Brandy was saying? Or is it, a net worth that you're thinking about, hey, later on, right?
Yeah.
Cashing out, getting equity from it. So we're not against home ownership at all. Exactly. We just need to know, is it cash flow? Are you using it for cash flow or is it capital gains, right?
Yeah. And I think it's strategy as well, because what you just explained is strategy.
Right.
So everybody has, when you think about financial advising and financial planning, there is no blanket statements. And we've been in the industry for a long time now. I've never done an identical financial plan. So sometimes when you get the social media and the internet, these blanket statements, people are like, oh, let me go get this. Let me get into investment. Well, how does that fit into your personal strategy?
Right.
What is your plan of action for yourself? And that's a big part that we're missing as it relates to financial education and building wealth. Is a customized process. It's individualized.
Man, where are my kids?
Right.
That's why it's called personal finance.
Yeah,
man.
It has to be personal.
According to recent stats, only about half of African Americans have some form of estate planning put into place. This includes important documents like your wills, your trust, and your power of attorneys. Additionally, only about 60% of all people have life insurance coverage. But why is it so important for not just black people, but all of us to have these things put into place? You see, life insurance can provide financial protection for your loved ones in the event of your unexpected death. It can help cover funeral and burial expenses, pay off debts, and even your mortgages. But here's what I really want you to consider. It can provide income for your loved ones to build wealth with. You see, estate planning, on the other hand, can help ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes after your death, and that your loved ones are taken care of. If you truly love, and I mean this, if you truly, truly love your loved ones, don't leave their financial security at chance. I want you to get life insurance today. You can get a free quote with my friends over at Ethos by visiting anthonyoneal.com/life insurance or by clicking the link in today's show notes. Protect your family's future and give yourself peace of mind. Don't be in heaven and you're full of joy and your family is here on earth struggling and stressed. Get life insurance today with my friends over at Ethos. Hey, now let's get back to today's show. I know it's a good one. Man, listen, y'all see them shaking their keys because, the name of their organization's Keys to Black Wealth, right? And so they shake their keys every time we talk about building black wealth, okay? I need to get my keys because you're in here dropping strategy notes because I've been very big this year on what's the strategy.
For sure.
If you can't go into building wealth without a strategy.
Correct.
You see maybe one blue moon story of it happened overnight. The majority of the millionaires that I've been around, they combine their gift, their skills with strategy.
For sure.
And their strategy excelled them into where they are today.
Absolutely.
And it's like y'all are saying as financial advisors that it's very important to sit down and look at the strategy up front, which is why it's very important for people like myself and all of us watching and listening to sit down with you all often because you all built the strategy for us.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Why do you think black wealth is important?
I mean, it's, you think about the United States of America and you think about our country, the country is built off of power, right?
Yeah.
And wealth is power. When you want to get things done, you got people in the streets, you got people in the suites. But at the end of the day, it's all about the wealth, right? It's all about money talks. And my mom used to say BS walks. I ain't gonna cuss on the show, but money talks, BS walks. And to be able to get things done, right? Legacy, right? Building our families, our community. You think about black people, we got the highest crime rate, incarceration rate, poverty rate, infant mortality rate, but the least tangible wealth in any social economic group here in the U.S. So black wealth is the key to be able to solve a lot of those issues that we see taking place in our community.
I got my keys.
Take those keys.
I got my keys.
So it doesn't matter if your keys is Bentley or Honda.
Right.
Shake on me regardless.
Boy, God, dog.
Yeah.
I would definitely say like over the last 3 years, I've really, really been on a mission to specifically speak to the black community around the areas of personal finance, around the areas of building wealth and eliminating debt. I love all people. Like I love white people. I love Hispanic people. I just want to help us minorities get that message because you start off saying mindset.
Yeah.
You start off saying mindset and then also the lack of education.
Yeah.
And when I go back to when I was raised, when I was growing up with my family, my parents didn't sit down and have a conversation with me about investing. They didn't sit down and have a conversation with me about how to start a business.
Right.
They didn't tell me to avoid debt. They told me to go out there and utilize debt, maximize the credit score. And it's like, for me, it's like, man. But then when I look at my white counterparts, while the black kids are driving Honda Accords with barely one tire on it, no AC in it, my white counterparts are pulling up with BMWs, Mercedes paid for. Now, I know that's not the case for all white people.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is we are seeing an advantage within that community compared to our community. And I think it is because they have more access than the average African American. And when I connected with you all actually about a month ago, and you guys, we're going to be doing something very, very special in Ohio at the end of February. Probably the first event that I've done specifically for black people. And when they reached out to me, man, I was like, yo, I want to be a part of this because what they're doing in Ohio, which is probably one of the lowest states when it comes to wealth for black people. I said, yo, I want to come and help you all impact that community in Ohio. So stay tuned because we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But I want to talk about what are the things we in the black community have to start doing now to start building wealth, because 2054 is right around the corner, let's be honest.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Was it 2023 today? I mean, this year.
Yes.
And a lot, oh, that's 20 years. I'm going to be different. You know what, man? 20 years ago, I was 18. That went by quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dang, I felt like I just graduated high school.
Yeah.
But I'm 38.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, has my 10-year anniversary in high school came?
Exactly.
I'm like, man, that was 10 years ago.
Go quick. You blink your eyes.
Right.
It's gone.
And I think a lot of people think I got time.
Yep.
When you do not have time.
Yeah.
You got to maximize the time you have now.
Yeah.
So with you all in the space as financial advisors, man, and I want to lay out, like, what are the key strategies?
Yeah.
Where do we start when it comes to wealth? Because I think a lot of people watching right now do not know how to invest.
Yeah.
They do not know where to start.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's be real. They don't trust people in the
Right.
financial area because it's like, wait, I'm going to give them my money?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know them. I don't know if I can trust them.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm like, no, man. As a personal finance guy, they'll tell you. They know my financial advisor, right? I talk to her every month,
For
right?
sure.
And I'm a money guy. But I still have a financial advisor that's teaching me and educating me and also investing my money because I want to know some things. And I was telling them just beforehand, I was like, man, she called me and said, hey, we're going to move your money over here and we're going to max out your SEF. I was like, oh, really? That's what we're doing? That's what, wait, excuse me? Then we're gonna max it out. I was like, we maxing it out this year? She said, yeah, because it's going to attach a tax deduction and you get the compound interest. I was like, okay,
sure.
For sure.
okay. And then she taught me something with the SEF. Hold on, let me go back to my notes. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna
Get
talk
into
about
it.
it.
Let's get into it.
I was like, so how are we investing? And she was like, what we're gonna do, 3 areas, 30% in balance, 40% in large cap, and then 30% in mid cap.
Okay.
Perfect.
I was like, break that down for me.
Yeah.
So what? Hold on, wait, break that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you guys, I trust financial advisors. I need financial advisors. Here's why, because I study money every day, but they are in everything every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're studying 10 times more than me because it's their job to make sure that they advise people like us the right way. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to drop their information in today's show notes to where you all can do that. And I'll drop my financial advisor. You could choose. But in Ohio, y'all need to be in an event. How many tickets can we sell for Ohio?
250 tickets.
Oh, man, y'all, yeah. So y'all might want to jump on this real quick.
Jump on that quick.
Yeah, because, boy, oh, Lord, we're going to sell out.
Yeah.
But we're going to do some more things. So let's talk about it. Where do we start
Yeah.
in the Black community when it comes to investing? Let's create a narrative. This person watching us right now just paid off their debt.
Okay.
Right? And they're ready to start thinking about today and their future.
Okay.
What's the first thing?
Yeah. So I definitely think you, like what Brandy was saying earlier, you gotta have a strategy, right? You gotta have a strategy. And you were talking about financial advisors. I want to make it very clear. Go to brokercheck.com.
Yes, talk that talk.
Brokercheck.
Brokercheck.com, that's how you could tell if somebody is actually a licensed registered financial advisor. There is a lot of people on social media saying that they're advisors. Brokercheck.com will tell you is if that person's advisor, what firm they're with, if they have any disclosures, has anybody's ever complained against them, anybody ever had to do anything like a bankruptcy or anything like that. So you actually, there's a profile on every advisor, right?
So when I go to brokercheck.com, we're going to put this in today's show notes. When I go to brokercheck.com, what information do I type in to confirm if my financial
That
advisor
person's
is
name.
All you gotta do is type in their
Type in their name.
Type in their name.
Type in their name, and it will break it all down for you. So I wanted to make that distinguish right quick because a lot of times people are saying, "Hey, I'm an advisor. Hey, I'm this or I'm that." You can actually do real research.
Yeah.
Real research.
Real research.
They gotta
on it.
have a license to be
Yes.
able to build wealth in this country, you know,
Yeah.
essentially.
Will it tell me how long, like, my advisor's been in the game?
Yeah, it'll tell you
sure.
how long they've been in the game, as with their particular licenses. It'll tell you how many firms they're with. Some people have been with like 15 different firms. So do you even believe in your own products that you're doing? They'll tell you if they have disclosures, if they ever had to file, like I said, bankruptcy, or if they had their own financial problems, if anybody's ever complained against them, any lawsuits. That's all listed right there on their broker check. So I would just say, just the same way you could get better results having a personal trainer at a gym instead of just going in there and just fit. You see all those videos, people using the equipment wrong.
Right.
They don't have a personal trainer showing them.
Right.
The same way I studied criminal justice in college and wanted to be an attorney. I worked in the courthouse. I used to see some people come in there representing themselves. I knew right away it was over with.
No, that's real.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. It's like, are you going to perform surgery on yourself? No, you're going to go get a professional, a doctor, a surgeon, but same thing with your money, especially when you don't know the language.
Yeah.
Money is a language just like speaking French or German or whatever, and you got to have that strategy. And then I also think, since the urgency is important, time and contribution.
Right.
Time and contribution are two things that you always got to be thinking about as it relates to investing. There is a book, well, two books I want to drop. Number one, The Compound Effect.
Okay.
That is a great book, and it really breaks down what happens. It gives an example of a 24-year-old who started investing $250 a month versus somebody who was 41 who started investing $250 a month. $1 million versus $280,000. So timing is so important. And then also you can invest according to your budget. You can just get started. You may not be able to max out, like Anthony is doing right now, but you can start where you are.
Exactly.
Your financial advisor should be able to put up a strategy that's specific to where you are in your budget, so you don't have to feel overwhelmed.
What's that other book?
The Wealth Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbrell. That book is so interesting, and he interviews over 700 millionaires, right? Black millionaires. And one of the common threads that they had as far as them hitting their wealth status, 70% of them believed in financial advisors. They all had 70%. Right. And you're talking about research. So, a lot of people don't know how to research either, but this is a qualitative book, qualitative research, meaning that it's a fact. It can't be disputed. Over 70% of these millionaires said that I had a financial advisor, and that's how I was able to accumulate my wealth.
You know what's so funny? When I hear people say, I don't trust the banks, I don't trust financial advisors, what I hear them saying is, you don't want to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when I started my health journey, I didn't walk into the gym.
Yeah, exactly. Just random.
And just randomly, all right, let me go do this thing.
Right.
No, I sat down with a pro.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, too, and I don't want to offend nobody.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the trainer that was fat.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a key.
That's a key right there.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be real.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how are you going to tell me to get a six-pack
Yeah.
when you carrying around, like, you know what I'm saying? Well,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I even went to a woman trainer. You know what I'm saying? Because, hold up. How you doing? Because I want a woman like you.
Yeah.
So it was like, if you look good, and if you here, you can tell me what you want to see and how to do what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay. So when I hear people say, I don't want a financial advisor, you don't want to be wealthy.
You don't.
Because you said it, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so how are you going to invest and then you don't even know what you don't know?
Exactly.
I learned something last week with my financial advisor, love you sis, and I'm like, okay, now we talking. Like, I didn't know about, she taught me, y'all been thinking I be playing, I be taking notes. She taught me about the DAF, the Donor Advisory Fund.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, what? So wait, like, because I give a lot of money away.
Okay.
That's one thing. One of my goals is I want to give.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be a generous person. And last year it was like, all right, cool. We want to give 6 figures away to my local church, and then we want to do $20,000 towards single parents and just single people, and we did that. This year I want to be able to give away double to triple to my church, but I also want to give back more and more. Right?
Love it. Love it.
But it's like I don't know who I want to give it to.
Yeah.
And so she was like, oh, that's easy. I said, what do you mean? We just open you up a DAF account. I was like, a DAF account? What do you mean? She was like, well, you transfer this money into that account, boom, right? And it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like a foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you get to write it all off. And then whenever you find that nonprofit you want to donate to, you cut it from the DAF account. I said, well, shut the front door.
Right.
I was like, can we move that into the now from 2022? She was like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah. And you just talk about your church. The Bible says lean on not your own understanding.
Yeah.
So it's like, there has to be a strategy put in place.
There has to be.
That's where you start.
Yeah.
That's where you start.
Strategy. The same way if you were just going to go across country, the first thing you look at is putting in the GPS. Right? You're not just going to hop in the car and just start heading west.
Come on, you can't.
You're going to put in
A pilot ain't going to just start flying and just start heading west, right? You got to know where you're going. It has to be a
And they're
plan.
assessing the strategy. What's the quickest way
Exactly.
to get there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And sometimes they tell you, if you're doing a pilot, what's not just the quickest, what's the safest?
Because we want to avoid turbulence, right?
Yeah.
And so when you get with a financial advisor, they're going to tell you what's the quickest and what's the safest way. Safest, how do you avoid issues with the IRS?
Exactly.
How do you avoid missing money and losing money?
Exactly.
But then also, while we're doing this the safe way, how do we get you there quick?
Exactly.
It's called a risk profile, right?
Exactly.
You might be more risk averse than the other person, right? Or you might want to take more risk, but you got to know here's the risks involved with what you're doing, right? So yeah, you can get there quicker, but you got to go through this turbulence. Do you want to?
Right. What are you willing to? Are you willing to take risk? And suitability is important as well.
Come
you know?
on.
And that's why, again, just going back, I think it's so important that we emphasize you can't take these blanket statements. You know, this is what the wealthy's been doing. This is what the Rockefeller has been doing. Well, you're a Smith. You're a Smith, and suitability says it right now. This is what we need to be safe. You know, so those are things that we just got to be practical. We can't operate in a state of delusion. You know?
Exactly.
All right, cool. Let's break down the strategy. 3 quick things that should be in your strategy to building wealth.
Yeah. I think we were talking about it earlier with you, right? You know, taxes. You got to understand there's 2 parts of investing, right? Is the tax part of it, but then it's also the growth, the risk part of it, right? It has to be a combination of the 2, right? So it's like you're looking at, do I want to pay taxes now? Do I want to defer my taxes? Do I want to pay taxes later? Do I want to pay taxes at all, right? Right? So you need to know that piece of it. Then you also need to know your risk profile, right? Some people say, hey, I'm young, I have many years to go. I could take more risks than somebody who's 60 years old, and they can't take a downturn in the market, right? So you need to, weigh those 2 things as part of your, your strategy.
No, that's real good.
I would say the next thing that you need to have as far as your wealth profile is your life insurance.
That's good.
And I know that's a bad word to our community, but life insurance is key. It's one of the most quickest, cost-efficient, immediate ways to create wealth for your family. See, life insurance is so interesting because it is 100% chance of death. It's of all the insurances, it's the one that you know you're going to use. You may not ever get into an auto accident. You may not ever use that, but life insurance, you will use that. Life insurance, and it's an immediate, for sure way to create an estate. So you need to have that into your wealth plan, period. Now,
as financial advisors, some people argue with me when I say this, but I really don't care. And if y'all argue with me, I really don't care. But I prefer term life. As financial advisors, what do y'all advise your people?
Yeah, so we believe 99% of the time, term life is going to be your best case scenario.
Why is that as financial advisors? I'm curious. I didn't know that, but
yeah. So it's funny we're talking about black wealth, right? And if you actually do your research, black people weren't even allowed to purchase term at one point in time. They only sold us whole life and burial policies.
Facts.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's true. Do some research.
Wait.
Do some research.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, because it's too big of a payout and little cost, right? I unfortunately had a client pass away, 34 years old, died of blood clots. But husband's going to receive $420,000 of insurance, right? That'll change your life versus a $25,000 burial policy or a whole life policy, right? Right. So you think about, we say, hey, most cost efficient, but a lot of times you hear people saying other products because you got to think about it. They get paid on commission. What would you rather sell somebody? A $40 product or a $400 product, right? A lot of times. And I think one thing we need to distinguish, it is actual law that you cannot market life insurance as an investment.
Big facts.
Go to your Department of Insurance, Go to the disclosures on your policies. It tells you right there, life insurance is not an investment. It's not even regulated with the SEC.
So whole life, universal life, infinite banking, be your own bank, that is not an investment. There are 2 different financial instruments. You got multiple financial instruments in your financial tool chest. Life insurance and investments are 2 different instruments. Term life insurance is a very simplified product. When you start getting into the other type of life insurances, they're very complex. So first of all, if you're not going to read the fine print, do the research, and again, suitability and strategy, does this fit you? Right? Do you have the means? Are you in a position right now to need these type of products? 99% of the time, term life is what our people need.
I want to drop another book on you everybody should read. It's called Getting Rich, How to Avoid Being Ripped Off by the Insurance Industry.
Hold on, say it again.
Getting Rich, How to Avoid Being Ripped Off by the Insurance Industry. Written by 2 guys, Yale, Harvard degrees, Princeton degrees, and they actually did a study of all the life insurance products, and they specifically said in there 99% of the time, term life. So this isn't an opinion-based thing, right? We're just looking at numbers.
We're looking at the facts.
We're looking at facts and numbers. Norman Dacey also wrote a book, What's Wrong with Your Life Insurance, which talks about this. So this isn't, opinion-based. You need to know if somebody's selling something to you, you need to know how they're compensated.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
That's true, bro.
And you need to know if they're actually go to broker check. If they're trying to sell you a life insurance, are they also a financial advisor? Because you could be a life insurance agent and not be a financial advisor.
Which is why, I'm going to sell you this product because I can't offer you the market.
Exactly.
And when you look at the difference between the products like the whole lives and things like that, these are just the numbers. On a competitive standpoint, that rate of return is going to be significantly lower than your SEP IRA, your Roth IRA, your traditional IRA. So do you want a 2% rate of return or do you want a 9% rate of return? We're just talking math here.
Yeah.
And those are the questions that we have to start asking. Which is why you need your financial advisors, because how do you even know what questions to ask?
Yeah, man. See, that whole infinite banking, I'm going to be my own bank. And I'm like, I was just on live with Kelly and Ryan a couple of weeks ago, and we was talking about estate planning. A huge part of my passion this year has been to create and bring the education to the importance of estate planning. I partnered with
Shake you a key for that estate planning, because that's big.
It's big.
Yeah.
And so I partnered with a company called Ethos, and we'll put them in today's description to where they're offering estate planning for $400.
Okay.
And then they'll waive the $400 if you just get a term life insurance policy.
Okay.
So if you get a term life insurance policy with Ethos, I got a $2 million term life insurance policy for my family, and I'm not even spending $60 for the policy.
Exactly.
And no blood work. You know what I'm saying? There's no blood work, no doctor work up until $2 million. Once you go past $2 million, you got to get blood work and stuff. And it's a term life policy. I did 20 years on that one.
Okay.
I'm thinking about going back and upping it to 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just maxing it all
For sure.
out. Yeah. But it's like, I've learned that the average black person, we leave our families with bills and a little bit of benefits.
A little bit of benefits.
And a little bit of benefits are not even enough to take care of the bills that we're leaving our family with. So we're leaving them with stress. We're leaving them with bondage. We're leaving them with pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, and so I was talking to my attorney beginning of this year, and I was updating my estate. And the questions that he was asking me were hard, man.
Yeah.
I was emotional.
Yeah.
I got cried. I got halfway through the form to update it because we were doing like my power of attorney and my medical stuff and updating my my trust, my irrevocable trust. And I went from $1 million to a $2 million life insurance policy. And he was like, hey, how you want to do this? And I had to stop.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yo, I'm talking about my death.
Yeah.
But it hit me. I'm going to use this.
You're going to use it.
So I need to do it.
Get it out the way. It's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it.
That's what I'm saying. And I've had family members pass and they didn't have an estate plan.
We have to. And that doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good, but here's what I do love. $2 million for my family, that's going to change their life.
Exactly.
And I'm like...
They're going to be like, Papa Anthony, he set us up. That's legacy, though.
That's legacy.
That's legacy.
And to me, it's like... I heard Steve Harvey say this. It was a while ago. I think it was like 7 years ago. He was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and he said something that shook my whole life. And it was a rerun on Oprah Winfrey. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping. I heard him say that, and I stood up. And y'all know how, back then, that's when the DVRs was real good. I paused it and recorded that thing. He said, Oprah asked him, like, how did it feel to lose your grandma or something like that? And he said, the last conversation I had with my grandma, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not the exact words, but his grandma asked him, do you remember your great-great-grandpa's name? And he said, no. She said, do you know why? He said, no, Mama. She said, because he didn't leave you nothing.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
And Steve said, man, I don't want to die. And my great-great-grandkids don't know my name.
Exactly.
That's it.
And I'm like, I stood up and I said, dang. Like I didn't have a will at that time. I didn't have a trust. I mean, I was making some good money, and I wasn't thinking about life after me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was so focused on building a dynasty, not a legacy.
Ooh,
Two different things, right?
You know what I'm saying? Because dynasty is all about me.
For sure.
Legacy is about something bigger than me.
Exactly.
Legacy is about my kids and my kids and my kids. And I'm like, dang, I'm sitting here trying to be this grand guy, and it's all like, oh, I built this dynasty. But it's like, dang, I'm gonna build all this for me and my grandkids won't even know my name.
Yeah.
So this is why I want you all at the table. And this is why I'm going to Ohio to be with them, because we have to get the keys to Black wealth.
Yes.
Because our children are counting on us. Our families are counting on us. And it's like, when we get the strategy, are we teaching the strategy to our kids and to our loved ones? Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be giving away to some strategy game at this event in Ohio. Tell them a little bit about this event, and let's get back into the content. But how can they go? Where can they go to register and buy? We about to sell out, so I'm telling y'all right now, don't think about it. We only can do 250 people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you're in Ohio, if you want to come to Ohio, you better go register today and go get the ticket today, because we're going to sell out. We're going to sell out. Yeah. So how can they get the info?
Yep, so they can go right to the website, which is www.keys2blackwealth.com, or they can go right on Instagram. We're on all social media, so go on Instagram, Keys to Black Wealth, so that's a T-O, Black Wealth, and go right to the website and purchase their ticket right there. February 25th, 6 p.m. in the evening. We're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be an edutainment event, the celebration of Black history, culture,
all
but also all Black.
Any good-looking ladies going to be there?
It's going to be some fine women up in there.
Single too?
Yeah.
Single, yes.
My God.
Yes. There's going to be some brothers up in there too.
Hey, man, I ain't worried about the brothers.
Well, we got some ladies. Ladies, there's going to be some brothers there.
Hey, you know, they ain't worried about the brothers. I don't care how. What? Who are you? I don't care about you. Hold on. Quinn, how you doing, man?
Yeah,
you know
it's going to be phenomenal. And we're looking forward to having you too, you know, coming to bless our community and drop some keys and your wealth of knowledge. So it's going to be a good vibe.
Yeah.
Now, what are we going to be talking about at this event?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the 7 keys to building and sustaining generational wealth.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So awareness is the first key. If you don't even know what's going on, how could you even get started, right?
Yeah.
Awareness is the first key. We have income, income and taxes, right? They go hand in hand. People need to learn how to raise their income. We got insurances. Make sure you get all your insurances together. We got ownership. It could be home ownership, business. We got credit and debt, making sure you got those aligned together. We got a policy and law.
Policy and law.
Yeah, because investing, policy and law. People need to, like, think about it. People aren't reading the terms and conditions. They're just signing up for products and services, right? My grandmother had 4 life insurance policies. 3 of them did not pay out when she died because they were accidental death and dismemberment policies that she bought from her local bank. And it says right in the terms and conditions, there's only going to pay out if you die in a certain kind of way in these accidents. She died in natural causes, was paying on those policies for over 30 years. Policy and law.
Policy and law.
It's right there in the description, right?
Yeah.
Right? So those are what we're going to be talking about. And obviously it's edutainment. So we got a Sax B, which is a saxophonist. So we got Steven Strings, who's a violinist. So, you know, it's party with a purpose. It's finance and fun. Business sexy is the theme, too.
Yes,
so
business sexy is
your tire theme.
The theme is healthy and wealthy.
Healthy and wealthy is our theme, and business sexy is our dress attire.
Okay, so you don't have to wear all black.
No, you don't have to wear all black.
You don't.
I'm still gonna come in all black.
Come in all black.
Do you?
It's a black wealth. You gotta be.
Definitely.
You gotta be blacked out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I may change the jerry jacket now.
Yeah, get into it.
I'm gonna change the jacket now, though. Okay. So, all right, cool. So we got the strategy. We have the sense of urgency. And part of the strategy is really understanding taxes and the growth part, and also including life insurance in that. All right. So let's say someone right now has, let's say they have $10,000 to invest. This is going to be outside of their 401k. So they're investing into the 401k.
Gotcha.
Let's say they're investing up into the match, right? And so, okay, we got the 401k knocked out because that's what you said in the beginning. Maximize 401k. They got another $10,000 to invest. Where do they go?
Number 1, you got to find a financial advisor.
Okay.
That's the first step. Find you a good financial advisor. We talked about brokercheck.com. And then after that, you got to put together a plan of action.
Right. Okay.
Think about your financial plan just like a GPS system. When you're going somewhere, you put that end address first, right? You start with the end address. And then you build the strategy on how to get there. So we got to figure out what's your goals.
Okay.
So you always start with the end result in mind. What's your vision? What's your goals, right?
So let's talk about it. My goal is to retire by 55, and let's say I'm 30 today. So that means I got 25 years to invest. That's the end goal. What's next?
So end goal, now you got to put together the plan. So now you put together the plan, and there's no blanket statement.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you need a Roth IRA. I don't know what you need, because it's all going to be about suitability, your risk tolerance, different things that we already talked about. So there's not a blanket statement. It has to be a customized plan. We need to know what your budget is, your cash flow analysis, your debt to income ratio, all of those different things. Do we need to look at a debt strategy first? And then the financial independence number is important as well. So what number do we need to end? What do you need when you reach that age? Are we trying to grow the financial independence number? Are we looking to grow you $1 million? Are we looking to grow you, do you need $2 million? How old are you when you retire? You know, so all of those things come into play when we're developing that financial plan. And that's why it's so important that you have a plan and not just take a blanket statement. It's all customized.
So when you say your financial number, I think people will hear $1 million. Let's break it down for the everyday person. That's $1 million total. But I also think what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, financial numbers, like what do you need a month to live off of?
Yeah, so if I'm retiring at the age of 60 and life expectancy is, let's just say 80, 90, so you know you're gonna need about 30, 40 years of income outside of retirement. How much each month do you need? That's a number. That's a real number. And when you total that whole number up, that becomes your independence number. And now the plan is designed to be able to help you to reach that number.
One of my wealthy friends, her goal was to put $16 million into some account. I don't know what it is. She's with a big firm, because when you move in that kind of money, you're with a real big firm. And she hit it. And she said by the time she turns 45, it should be generating, if it does 10% return, it should be generating her right between $800 to $1 million a year. And she said, I will live off of the interest.
There you go.
And don't touch the principal and pass that through to my estate when I pass.
That's a key right there. That's a big key.
Is that possible?
Yeah, anything is possible, right? But is it you're looking at your budget, right? Somebody could say, I want a Lamborghini, $50,000 a year. I don't know if that's possible, right? So we got to match, you know, those your goals with your income. That's why income is one of the 7 keys,
that's
right?
So good.
But we also got to look at facts like inflation, right? We got to take in inflation. We got to talk about the policy and laws, the rules behind certain accounts, right? Because if you're saying, hey, this $10,000 I need 5 years from now, because I want to buy an investment property, you would invest that the same way you would need, say, hey, I don't need this money till 30 years from now, right?
Right.
You know, I might not be as aggressive and, you know, risky if I've needed in 2 years versus I needed in 20 years, right?
You just brought something up. Let me write that down, because it's like, let's say these people are following my plan, right? And let's say, you know, they want to purchase a house within the next 2 to 3 years. So they're saving money. Would you suggest that they save their money in a regular savings account? Or where would you all say, hey, you know, this is a good account to get a little bit more interest. What account should they be investing that money into if they're saving for a house for the next 3 years?
Yeah, we have a general rule of thumb. If you need the money in 1, 2, 3 years, you might not want to invest, because you just see what happened in 2022, right? So you're going to look at an advisor like, why'd you put me in this? The market went down 15%.
Right.
I need this money next year. And money takes twice as long to come back as it does to go down, right? So we kind of have a general rule of thumb. If it's 3 years or less, you might just want to look for a high yield savings account. Just kind of just keeping your money, you know, somewhere where it's liquid and is not, you know, in the market. Anything past that, now we can just start getting, it's more predictable, right? We can look over time. The market is predictable over time.
Yes, it is.
But it's not predictable year to year, right? Right? So if you need, I say money that you need, 1, 2, 3 years, you might just want to just keep it. Unless, once again, you're more risk, you want to take more risk, and you say, hey, it's like, hey, I want to go for it.
I like risk. What would you suggest then, if I like risk?
And I think also another thing, if you like risk, when you think about those investment vehicles, all of those different type of vehicles you can put your money in, think about it as IRS tax codes. So that's another big key that you have to understand, because there's rules around those vehicles. So even though you might like risk, you still have to know the rules behind how the instruments behave, because policy and law, because you don't want to get into taxation on some of those products, right? So you can't put, a short-term investment in a IRA. You just can't do that because of the IRS tax codes. The IRS allows us to utilize and leverage the market, but there's some rules behind it as well.
Exactly.
Uncle Sam and the nephew is gonna get theirs.
Absolutely.
So you got to be aware of that, right?
Oof.
So that's really important before you can determine, what type of product you're going to put your money in. But there's a lot of different things. There's TOD, just short-term accounts. You got muni bonds. There's all different kind of things you could put your money in. You just have to make sure that vehicle and understanding those rules, which is the IRS codes around the rule.
You know what I like about y'all? Y'all don't promote shortcuts.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
sensitive.
sensitive. There was like, Anthony, we're going to stick to the strategy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't know. Like we need to look at the situation. We're going to do the best thing for you. When I see a lot of influencers, this is what the wealthy people are. Put $1 million over here and do this. Yeah, do that over here. This is what the wealthy people, when they're doing this, DM me and I'm going to give you a course on it. Like, no, I don't need no daggone course.
Right.
Because they don't have a fiduciary responsibility. See, when you got your license, that's why a lot of people don't like checks and balances, because then they could tell you anything without having anybody checks and balances, right? When you have a fiduciary responsibility to that client, you're not going to just tell them anything without literally laying it all out on the table and say, this is what you got going on. What is your goals? What are your focus? Because then once we know the strategy, then we get the product. See, like you said, influencers are marketing products. How can you market a product if you don't even know the strategy? Right?
Oh my God.
You'll never see a licensed financial advisor like us putting out blanket statements. You won't see that because we can't.
We can't. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
You get a hit with a fine, and they tell you on broker check if that person did that, right?
Yeah.
So broker checks even let you
Oh, we're public information. Yeah.
Broker check will let you disclosures. They would tell you if that person was fined for whatever reason, for maybe making a blanket statement, saying you should do this, and somebody lost their money and that wasn't their intention, right? So definitely you won't see us making just blanket statements. We're always going to tell you, lay everything out on the table, get a strategy. We need to know what's your goals, how you want to pay your taxes, because, hey, you say, hey, I got this money, but I want to use it in less than a year. Capital gains tax is different short term.
For sure.
Less than a year than more than a year, right? So it's just those different things. And a lot of people, when Robinhood was really popping in the beginning, people didn't even understand, and they were cashing out their investments, not realizing, oh, I'm going to get hit with a, capital gains tax. And I didn't have it in longer than a year.
Yeah.
Right.
As a financial advisor, I was talking with, I won't even say who I was talking with, because, this particular person watches my show, and I love this particular person. But this particular person said they have not paid taxes in 4 years. As a financial advisor, what's your response?
So it depends. I mean, that would be really hard to do making a lot of money. So I know people who ain't paid taxes in 4 years.
Taxes on
Bro.
and my break boys.
I was like, wait, in 4 years?
Yeah.
But there are different things that you can do. Like, there's different things that you can do. Obviously,
No, when I'm talking about not paid,
Okay.
haven't filed.
Haven't filed?
Have not filed in 4 years.
That's actually
Illegal.
Illegal,
That's
yeah.
Once when
So as a financial advisor, when when that person comes to you and says, yo, I want to get my money right, how do y'all, what's the conversation looking like?
Well, it's different. See, financial advisors and tax professionals see two different things,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
So we stay in our lane. We would tell you first, you probably need to go talk to
Your tax professional.
Yo,
Y'all ain't gonna catch us. You're not getting us caught up. You're not gonna get us caught up. But
listen.
Go talk to your tax professional.
Yes.
It's a relationship between your tax professional,
Absolutely.
your financial advisor, and your attorney.
Absolutely.
That's you gotta have an attorney, a part of your wealth management team as well.
This
That's
particular
really,
person is going to need an attorney.
Yeah, they're gonna need an attorney. They're gonna need an attorney for a lot of different reasons.
Because this particular person was like, I'm going to purchase a home next year. And I was like, so I'm going to file taxes this year. One thing I do know about the IRS, they slow, but they ain't dumb.
They're not gonna forget.
They're going to get you. What's the Bible say? He may not come when you want, but he gonna come right on time.
Right on time.
IRS gonna come right there at the last minute.
IRS will go up in that bank account and take to them real quick. Like, oh.
And I'm like, nah. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've gone to McDonald's and swiped my card. I was on a date and swiped my card.
Oh, you was at dating McDonald's?
I was like, date at McDonald's.
We gotta talk about
This was like in my 20s.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? My young 20. I didn't pay taxes when I was 18, 19, 20, and 21. Okay. And I didn't file. I didn't file.
You didn't file.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't really make no money like that. I didn't file.
Yeah.
Man, I owed them jokers about $6,000. Went to McDonald's. Declined. I was like, bro, I know I got $10.
Yeah.
I called the bank. This is what I did. I didn't even call the bank. Well, I called, back then we had the numbers we can call and check your balances. You didn't really have the online features yet.
Yeah.
So I called, available balance, $282. I was like, man, it's probably called. I got $282. They trying to play me, girl. Declined again.
Yeah.
So I'm okay, my car must be fraud. Called the fraud department. I didn't get a text, They was like, hey, sir, you need to call this particular number. Particular number? What the heck? So I called a number that was like, there is a freeze on your account.
Yeah.
I was like, a freeze on my account? Yeah, you need to call the IRS. I said that. Yo, my heart dropped.
Yeah.
I took old girl home.
That's who you don't want to play with.
What?
Play with the boys.
They was like, hey, sir, thank you for giving us a call. You actually have a outstanding balance with the IRS for 2,000 is, 2,000 now, 2,000 is, 2,000 is, so for a total of $6,000. How do you want to pay that today? I was like, how do I want to pay what? $6,000. I said, you froze my account. Only got $200.
Y'all know. Y'all know what
I got.
I was like, how you expect me to pay that?
Right.
I was like, well, sir, you may need to go sit with a tax person and get a lawyer because we can't let this account go.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I was sweating. I was nervous. And thankfully, we had a person, a family member that worked for the IRS who walked me through on how to do the things. And ever since then, man, I ain't missed a beat.
Yeah. Can't play with the IRS.
When I started my own business, I got a financial advisor, a new one. I got a black one. Amen. I got a black CPA. Who is just really killing the game, and I have a dope attorney. My attorney's white. I love him. And those three keep me legally, ethically, you know what I'm saying? And every time I ask a question, it's like, hey, they ask me like 5 questions to let us know if this is legal and ethical. And then we pay our quarterly taxes. And we're always looking at, okay, what is the best thing to do? And I just got to say, man, one of the keys to building wealth is just pay your taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and it bothers me when I find people looking for loopholes.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, there are strategies put in place to where you can legally and ethically write it off.
For sure.
There are strategies in place where you can invest and get the tax benefits and get the growth from it.
For sure.
But I think we sometimes, especially in the black community, we're looking for ways to grow it quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all, it's just not it's not healthy if you're growing it quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like today we've been able to build, wealth to a point to where I feel very, very confident that the company will do well, my family will be well. But at the same time, it's like, hey, let's do this thing right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. Congratulations to you for that. That's big.
But it's strategy though.
Yeah, for sure.
And can I be real with y'all? I'll be real with y'all. And I hate to say it like this. Black people didn't teach me that.
Yeah.
White people did.
Yeah.
This is why I have y'all at the table.
Yeah.
Because we need to expose more black people teaching us how to win financially.
Absolutely.
Black people didn't teach me how to invest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what black people did teach me to do. How to get the money.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get the money.
You know what I'm saying?
Get the
Black
bag.
people, we gonna get that bag.
Yeah.
We are the most creative group of people on the planet
Yes, we
of
are.
Earth. But we don't own nothing, and we don't have a strategy on how to keep it.
Absolutely.
Right.
We don't even have a strategy on how to multiply it. But we will bust our butts to make it.
Yeah.
But we will not sit down and get a strategy on how to multiply it.
Right.
So there's 4 M's I live by. I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna manage my money.
Okay.
I'm gonna multiply my money, and I'm gonna make that money matter.
Fire.
We need you to bring that to Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, I'm bringing that.
You just said a whole
We're gonna talk about that.
You just said a whole big key, and if we got a couple seconds,
Yeah.
number one, that's our mission
Yeah.
of Keys to Black Wealth is to help Black and Brown people create sustain and transfer
Yeah.
generational wealth. So it's, we got to build it, but then now can you keep it, and then can you transfer it? And we were very intentional about our mission, took a lot of time like defining that mission, and generational wealth is such a key point. Can you keep it, and then can you transfer it to the next generation? Can you can your money outlive you?
Yeah.
You want your money to outlive you. And that's just a big point that you made there. So it's all about the transfer of generational wealth. And the other point you made that I think is worth mentioning is about the financial industry. You got about 1 million attorneys in the U.S., 1.5 million doctors. It's about 250,000 people with the type of licenses that we have, financial licenses. And of that number, less than 5% are black, and less than 1% are black women. So you made that point. And when you think about the industry and what's happening in the black community, we're talking about zero net worth by 2053.
Yeah.
You're talking about the highest debt ratio, black people, the highest college debt, black women equal pay. We're making least on a totem pole, but we're not even in the industry. And the financial industry is one of the highest paid industries in North America, and we're not even represented, but this is where the money flows. So we need to get more people that looks like us with these licenses so that we can reach back to our community and teach them. That's one of our mission, is to get over 1,000 licensed agents educated and licensed in this industry. That's a big mission of ours.
Ah, man, we got to do that.
Yeah.
And especially because we got a few more minutes, right? We normally shoot for a 30-minute show, but it's going to be an hour show today. There's some good wisdom right here, some good keys. I was, the rising entrepreneurs of black women.
Right.
And I love that.
Yeah.
But you do know that black women also have the most debt.
Absolutely.
And it's like, while I celebrate our queens for winning, here's what I'm noticing. Our black sisters are going to make it happen, but they're not getting the strategy.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. So it doesn't matter. So what I'm trying to tell people is, everyone's like, yo, I need to make $1 million. It makes no sense for you to make $1 million if you don't have a strategy for that $1 million.
Period.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'll be talking to my team, and it was like, hey, maybe we need to do this. It's like, it doesn't fit the strategy.
Exactly.
We need to buy it. It doesn't fit the strategy. And then, well, CJ was saying we need a mic for something this weekend. I was like, it doesn't fit the strategy. I just don't want to do it. It doesn't fit. Well, it's only $30. $30 is.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the strategy right now, The strategy is we need a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the strategy, because we could turn that, and now that becomes another generator.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm thinking strategy, and we don't have enough black people, like y'all said, teaching strategy.
Yeah.
Here's what we have. We got a lot of black people teaching us how to get the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you want to do this? You want to make $1 million? Do this. Get my course.
Do this. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but that's not a strategy.
Yeah.
That's a a way to get money.
Yeah.
But it's not a strategy.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm not knocking courses, because I teach people how to
for
make
sure.
$1,000. I ain't teaching how to make $1 million. I ain't doing that, because I hate it when I hear people say, I'm gonna teach you how to make $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, you made $1 million.
Yeah.
Like she said earlier, your name is Rockefeller. My name is O'Neal.
That part.
It may not work for me.
Yeah.
But it's like, I hope you all heard today's show, man. It's really in the strategy of wealth building. And I would definitely say I accidentally made my first $1 million. I would definitely say that. It was a strategy. No, I'm sorry. I accidentally made $500,000. First year, just me and my boy, CJ. Just me and him, working in my townhome in Nashville, Tennessee. Small, man. Small. Just me and CJ, working long hours. And the next year, I sat down with 2 mentors, and it was like, what's the strategy to get to $1 million? So we just put together a strategy to get to $1 million.
Yeah.
And we tripled that.
Yeah.
Because the strategy stayed to that.
Yeah. Mentorship is the fast track to success.
Yep.
And a part of my strategy plan, you guys, was a financial advisor, was a CPA, attorney, and for me, an amazing team.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can get that right people, those 4 people around you, and then also I add the 5th one, it's just I have an amazing spiritual community that held me accountable from a spiritual perspective. And I said, all right, cool, you're making this money. How is it mattering?
Exactly.
How are you giving? How are you being a blessing to the people?
Yeah.
And then amazing CPA, that made sure that I was doing things correctly, handling all of my books. And that's another thing. I wish we had more time because, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a whole other topic.
The books, Black, you know how many black people I be seeing with businesses, and they don't have books. I went inside to, I'm looking at buildings, and I was with my realtor. He's a black guy, one of the best ones in the DMV area, the Masons group, and we went. All the realtor people was white, and they was like, "So how are your financials?" I was like, "Good." It was like, no, okay, we know you make money, you know. So, but how are your financials? Are they audited? You know, do you have your books in place? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, just send it to me, make sure you qualify.
Yeah.
He was like, oh shoot. He was like, I got to be honest with you. He was like 7 out of 10 people who come to me do not have their books in order.
For sure.
It was like, we see them make a lot of money, but they don't have a profit and loss statement.
No financial statements.
There's no financial statements. And so because of that, I track my books every single month. I document every single thing with my CPA. It's great. And then it's like on the personal side, I'm at ease because it's like I'm looking this, and then I'm with my financial advisors, like, hey, what are we doing for the future? I sit down with a lot of self-employed people, do not have nothing invested.
For sure.
Do y'all know the numbers on that? Like how many self-employed people actually are investing? Is there like a ballpark number?
Well, I know that once that 67% of black people don't even own a retirement account, no 401ks, no IRA.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And
nothing.
that pisses me off, man.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Because I guarantee you, if we look at those 67 black people who don't have a retirement account, they got a name brand car.
Oh, for sure.
They got a name brand car.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? They looking real good.
Eating at the finest restaurants,
Right.
designers,
Same ones talking about he better take me out on an expensive date. I be wanting to cuss people out, and I'm saying, I'm like, and everyone right now talking about the whole Beyonce concert. You know what I'm saying? You about to go spend $1,000 on a daggone ticket, and you don't even have $1,000 in your savings account.
Right.
That was the whole Keys to Black Wealth. We were tired of fighting it, right? The you spending money on this entertainment. Okay, come get entertained with us on the 25th. But we're gonna give you these keys as well too. We want you to take this, and that's why we made the ticket affordable. And so that now people can take the remaining money and let's actually get you established. Let's get you established. And you was just dropping some great keys about, you know, having a team around you and things, and we got a great team in Keys to Black Wealth. You know, Lamar Pugsley, Frank Cage, Tia Ramey, shout them out. But you know, but you got to have a team around you. You got people around you that can, like I said, where you're not gonna just lean on your own understanding. You can leverage other people's knowledge. We always talk about leveraging money, but I rarely hear people talk about leveraging people's knowledge.
Bro, that's it. You know how many masterminds I'm in?
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm in a lot of masterminds that they don't look like me. Because I'm not knocking masterminds within the black community, but a lot of black community is it's all about how to get the most money. And I'm like, yo, getting the money for me is not hard. That's easy for me. I'm trying to figure out, how do I maximize the money that I have now and multiply it without me even having to lose sleep or put more work in?
Come on, passive income.
So these white people are like, yo, hey, you need to look into this. Hey, you should do this. This is the strategy for that. And I'm in these groups, I'm like, why are we not talking about this? Why are we not having this conversation about how to do this and how to do that? So it's like, for me, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm always gonna be rocking with us because I'm like, yo, we gonna get that bag.
Oh, we are.
So I'm gonna get the bag. But then I'm gonna go over here and be like, okay, what you doing? How you doing that? You know? And it's like, I won't say that. Because I'll get in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
We don't want to get you in trouble.
I'll get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I'm going to say it. I was not a fan of Donald Trump as a president.
Okay.
But on his business strategy?
But you can separate the man and what he from the strategy, right? You could utilize people's strategies without, you know, saying, I like this person.
Man, listen, I don't care what people say. I may even lose some followers in saying this, but people say, well, how can you respect the man's business strategy if he had this issue with black people? Listen. I'm just trying to get the knowledge in this area. Okay, outside of that area, like I said, I don't care if about 90% of the stuff that comes out of his mouth. But here's what I do know. That man is smart when it comes to the business strategy of things.
Yeah.
How can I get that wisdom, that knowledge, and come back over here to my community and teach that knowledge with integrity and character?
My pastor said, chew the hay, spit out the sticks.
Period.
Man, bottom line, listen, y'all, we're going to be in Ohio the end of this month, man. I'm pretty sure by the end of this show, we've already sold out all the tickets. We only got 250 seats in the building. I'm going to be in the building. I'm excited about it because within the black community, we need more wealthier black people. We need more wealthier young black people. And the keys to black wealth, that's where we're going to be at in Ohio. We're going to drop the link in today's show notes. Please check it out. Meet me in the building. I want to see you. I want to hug you. I want to talk about your future. And after this event, you guys, they're going to be offering their services. They want to sit down with you and give you a strategy on how to build wealth. And so please make sure that you're in the building. Get this information. If you can't make it to the building, please make sure that you share this show with someone, because at the end of the day, we as a people, whether you're black or white watching this, these were all keys for you too.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important for us because we got to get out of debt. We got to build wealth. And I'm believing and just praying over us today that, you know what? We are going to eliminate the debt. We're going to have more young millionaires. We're going to have more black millionaires. And I'm rooting for our sisters who are the rising entrepreneur in America. But I would love to see you all be the rising entrepreneur in America without that much debt as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think we can definitely do that. So we'll drop all the information in today's show notes. We're going to drop those books in the show notes today as well. Click the link. Get the book. Share the book. Listen, man, when I start dating someone, whoever I date, man, I'm gonna make sure that's gonna be an assignment. You want to marry me? You got to read these books.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm not dating liabilities.
Yes.
I just can't do it. It's probably one of the main reasons why I'm still single. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my money.
Yeah.
And I want to build something that is bigger and greater than me. I'm not building a dynasty. I'm building legacy.
Right.
And so, love y'all, man. Keys to Black Wealth. Check them out. We're going to be doing some major stuff later on this year.
For sure.
To really bring this information around the world. So we love you. God bless you. We'll see you in the next show. Peace out.